Hello, welcome to the January 2014 edition of CGov's The Parish Line. We cover the events, programs, and policies of the Calcasieu Parish Police Jury. On this month's program, we will learn about new recreation opportunities at our parish parks, hear about a chance for citizens to give their input into the parish transportation plan, and get information about new zoning regulations for recreational vehicle parks. First, the Louisiana State High School Basketball Championships are coming to Southwest Louisiana, and the Convention and Visitors Bureau is looking for volunteers. J.P. Booth tells us how you can get involved.
The LHSAA's State Basketball Tournament, also known as March Madness, will be held at the Burton Coliseum Complex March 4th through the 15th. The Calcasieu Parish Police Jury partnered with the Convention and Visitors Bureau to bring the tournament to Southwest Louisiana and is expecting up to 80,000 people to attend over the two-week period.
LHSAA March Madness, which is the Boys and Girls Basketball Championships for the state of Louisiana, kick off at Burton Complex on March 4th. It'll be an exciting 2 weeks of basketball. We'll crown 14 state championships, 7 in girls, 7 in boys. They'll be broadcast on Fox Sports, so we'll get a lot of good statewide and possible national media attention from it. So we're really excited about bringing that event here to the area. The economic impact of the event is well into the millions.
We initially heard about it through Eric Zartler with the Convention and Visitors Bureau. He approached the police jury and said that the Burton Complex would be a great place to host this. We had the minimum seating requirement, which is 8,000 seats. And we bid for both tournaments for 2014 and 2015.
Jason and I put our heads together. He got with the police jury, and the police jury made a fantastic, unbelievable contribution to this event. Just the amount of work that's been done at Burton Complex since this has been announced has been tremendous. And that complex has turned into one of the nicest in the state right now, in my opinion.
We were very happy to receive the bid. And this is sort of like a challenge for not just the police jury, but everyone involved in the community in this tournament to really show off and showcase how we can be very effective with these events and hope that they can come back and continue to come back for the future.
Due to the size and length of the event, employees from several agencies, including the Louisiana High School Athletics Association, the police jury, and the Convention and Visitors Bureau, are helping to staff the event. But volunteers are still needed.
In order to put on events like this, you need a full armada of a team that would be made up of our own part-time employees that we have here on staff, full-time staff, the police jury, departments, and the Convention and Visitors Bureau would all be lending their own support. But we also need volunteers as well.
You know, probably one of our biggest tasks right now is to make sure that we have enough people to help this thing go off without a hitch. Our biggest challenge right now is locating team hosts. Those are people that love the Lake Charles and Southwest Louisiana communities and really want to come out and welcome these teams to town when they get here, kind of be their feet on the ground, contact the coaches, and really be that team's go-to when they're here in the Lake Charles area. That's our biggest need right now. We're working to coordinate that through the Convention and Visitors Bureau. We have a website set up at www.visitlakecharles.org/volunteer. You can go there and fill out your information, and we'll be in touch with you. And that's for anything. We're looking for ushers. We're looking for people to work in the hospitality rooms. But a team host is one of our biggest focuses right now because that's the front line. That's the first people these teams are going to see when they get to Lake Charles, and we want to make sure that's an outstanding experience.
The championship tournament comes on the heels of the Burton's exterior wall panel replacements, which is just one of the major renovations taking place at the complex.
If you haven't been driving by the Burton recently, you'll be really surprised to see the outside is totally different. It doesn't really look like anything you've seen before because all the exterior skin has been reinstalled and there's a new color to it. The roof has a new color. But then when you walk inside, there's so many interior features that we have that would take a long time to name, but it's just minor things that are going to make a great impact. In addition to all of the upgrades that you're seeing, all of these exterior and interior material upgrades, we're also making a very hard effort at changing the way we work with our guests, and we have our guest services program. We've redone our concessions system to where we have really good items, have really stepped up the concession program. And then all of our part-time staff go through rigorous training to offer the best quality service that we can with any patron who comes in here, where we want them to leave feeling like it's an experience they just enjoyed and they want to come back for more things. So it's not just the material things that we're seeing, we're trying to adapt and modify even the way we handle our affairs and the way we do business with our clients and patrons.
Really excited for Southwest Louisiana to be the host of this event. It's a tremendous honor that they put on us to host 2 weeks of this. It's never been done in the state before to host 2 weeks back-to-back, girls and boys, the way we're doing it. So it's an extreme honor for us to host it, and we just hope that Southwest Louisiana supports us in this, and hopefully the whole community can come out and check it out. If they haven't been to Burton Complex lately, it's a great time. The facilities never look better, and can't thank the police jury enough for their commitment that they've made to this event and to Burton Complex.
For the Parish Line, I'm J.P. Booth.
Tickets for the championship tournament can be purchased through Ticketmaster, and if you'd like to volunteer, contact the Southwest Louisiana CVB. February is National Dental Awareness Month. Molly Morgan reports on a program to help citizens get dental care discounts.
Human Services Health Initiatives focuses on many events throughout the parish and in our schools. Health Initiatives and Strategic Partnerships Director Angela Jewett talks about one event in particular.
We have a lot of different activities planned. We're going to be going into a couple of the schools where we'll be also doing other things besides dental checks. We'll be doing vision, hearing, height, weight, things like this. And on top of that, we're going to give all the children that we do this with toothpaste and toothbrush and a copy of our dental program to bring home so that they can show it to their parents and see if they were interested.
Certain age groups will be included in this year's dental checks.
We will be doing Head Start. It will be one of our across-the-board ranges that we will be targeting. Two of the schools that we'll be targeting is a K through 8th grade school. So we'll be targeting those students, and everyone that we do a check on will get a part of our dental program and a free toothbrush and toothpaste to go along with it, with a little checklist on how they should be brushing their teeth and how to care for it. We're also going to be targeting senior citizens. We have some programs that we attend monthly that we're going to bring a little package to them and have it ready to go, where they'll get this with their toothbrush, toothpaste, all about their little checkups, going to the doctor, and getting all about our dental program that we'll, want them to look at it and see if they may be interested in it. And what we did in the month of December, anything that we had to attend, we probably gave out 2,000 toothbrushes in October, November, and December to all different ages.
Calcasieu Parish offers residents a low-cost dental plan.
The police jury has a dental program now that we offer to the public where they can call in and buy dental insurance at a lower rate. There is a fee. For a family, it would be like $69 per year for the whole family. And for a single person, it's $59 for a single policy. And you will call them. You will save up to 5 to 50% on your dental procedures. There is, like most everything else, there's a certain amount of doctors that participate in the area. But when you do call the 1-800 number, they will tell you which doctors participate in that area.
For the Parish Line, I'm Molly Morgan.
If you're interested in the dental program and would like more information, call 1-877-354-NACO. You are watching The Parish Line, a production of CGov, the Calcasieu Parish Government Channel. The police jury has updated the zoning classification for RV and mobile home parks. Here's Jessica Williamson.
With potential industry investments in Southwest Louisiana reaching $50 billion, comes a need for housing the workforce that will be locating in the area. The police jury is being proactive by anticipating an influx of temporary housing needs for construction workers. At their January 23rd meeting, the jury amended the Code of Ordinances to separate the zoning classification of RV parks and mobile home parks.
At the beginning of 2013, we found that we had a number of requests for rezoning to RMHP to facilitate RV parks. And with all of the economic boom that's coming, we just felt like it was a good time to look at our regulations and decide if we needed to step things up a little bit to make sure that we were giving the public a good product.
The Parish Planning Department has seen an influx in applications for RV parks in the past year and is preparing for the possibility of demand for more.
Just to give you some perspective, I believe that the police jury heard 12 RV applications in 2013, and they only approved 9 of those. But in the 4 years before 2013, they only approved 1 per year.
The previous zoning classified RV and mobile home parks together, while the new classification provides clarity to applicants and potential neighbors.
So there'll be a change to the manufactured home park classification. It will no longer allow recreational vehicles. So there will be a grandfathering clause. So if a developer has some plans on file with our office that have already been approved, and let's say they have half RVs and half manufactured homes, they will be grandfathered in. They can continue on, they can replace the units as needed. But when they come in to expand the park, then they would have to go to this new zoning to have recreational vehicles in the park. Because again, it's all about certainty. We want people to be able to know what their neighbors are going to do with their properties and not have any surprises. Very minimal set of standards, used as a guide to provide certainty to the neighboring property owners to ensure that their way of life doesn't change and that they can enjoy things the way they are. Hopefully, with these standards, if an RV park locates next to you, it will have very minimal impact on your day-to-day life.
The new RV zoning classification includes a few additional requirements.
There's a few minor changes. It's not a huge change, but if a developer goes to the new classification for RV parks, which is called RVP, they would expect to present to us a site plan that shows exactly what they want to do, their space layout, where they plan parking, where they plan an office, all the details that we can get. And then they would also be required to have a setback between the units, a minimum of 10 feet between units. And then we also call for buffer areas around the entire park. So if it's located within an urban area like Moss Bluff, South Lake Charles, Carless, that's densely developed, they would have to provide a 10-foot buffer. So they would have to be at least 10 feet from the neighboring property line. And then they would also have to provide some kind of screening or fencing, so there would be protection between the two. If they're in the rural areas, we want to maintain that rural character, so we're asking for 20 feet from the property line in those areas. And we're also asking for a minimum lot size for the park. That's the overall land that the park takes up. And in the urban areas, it would be 1 acre. In the rural areas, it would be 2 acres. Again, to keep that rural character.
The minimum standards are used as a guide, but the police jury can impose additional requirements on a case-by-case basis.
Under these standards, you wouldn't have to have a security gate. Well, let's say a company comes before us and they want to do 500 RV spaces solely for construction workers. Well, maybe the police jury requires a security gate in those cases.
The public comment period lasted over 4 months, and planning staff received approval from local stakeholders.
We've presented it to the housing committee of the GO Group. We presented it to local realtors and local home builders, and none of those groups have any objections to what we're presenting. And hopefully it's a small baby step of regulation, not necessarily a big massive change that people will really have problems overcoming.
For the Parish Line, I'm Jessica Williamson.
The Planning Liaison Group prompted police jury staff to amend the ordinance. 2 public meetings are scheduled for Tuesday, February 11th and Thursday, February 13th to allow citizens to provide input on long-range transportation planning for Calcasieu Parish. The meetings are being sponsored by the Imperial Calcasieu Regional Planning and Development Commission, or IMCAL, and Calcasieu Parish.
What we want to do is encourage the public to come out to these meetings. Their input at these meetings is valuable to us, will help us shape the long-range transportation plan. So having that information is certainly important to us, and we encourage them to be there, be a part of that. If they could come out, just set aside some time on an evening where the meeting's going to be in their area. We'll have one on the east side and one on the west side, and participate in that.
Every 5 years we update that long-range transportation plan, and it's time to do the update. And in the update we'll look at all the areas that we have recently, in the past, looked at as far as project areas that we need to look at and can concentrate on. But we also want to look at areas that need to be focused on now with the changes after 5 years. And that's why we're holding public meetings, so we can discuss with the public. It gives us a good opportunity for them to come in because they're traveling these routes on a daily basis. They're seeing peak time congestions, and so we want to hear input from them as we work towards programming projects that need to be focused on in the coming years.
What's on everybody's mind is the fact that we're having this growth in the parish that we've probably never seen anything like this before. And transportation is going to be on everybody's mind. And so this plan will help us formulate a direction we need to go to help solve some of these problems. Part of this plan will include a model, and that model will allow us to see where the hot spots are. We know about where we think these spots are going to be, but this will give us actually some hard numbers that we can utilize to make sure that we've covered all those spots, and maybe some options as well. If we connect maybe road from point A to point B, make some improvements here and there, how will that improve the transportation in those hot spots? So there's some valuable information that we can gain from the model, and this will be a tool that will help the MPO, the parish, the cities in formulating their capital programs in the future.
The parish and IMCAL will use the input from the public over the next 6 months to update the long-range plan.
The plan will be completed within 8 months. About September is when we expect to have a final. In July we should have the draft. The 2 public meetings that we'll have will follow with other public meetings to show the draft to the public, let them have a time for review, and once the review has been approved, processed through the public, then it will go before the MPO Policy Committee, and once that's approved, it will be submitted to the state.
The long-range transportation plan is something that's valuable to us because this is an opportunity for the parish to team up with the MPO. And the reason this is important is the MPO, which is the Metropolitan Planning Organization, is the organization which all these federal monies are funneled through. So any of this money that's spent locally with that federal match has to go through this organization, has to be approved by them. And so us being able to team up with them on this plan, long-range transportation plan, will not only include the local urbanized areas, but it's going to include parish-wide. So even in the rural areas, even though we may not be having the traffic issues they're having in the local areas, we still need input. And these outlying areas that are rural now may become more suburban, and so having a network that is parish-wide is certainly going to be valuable to us as we try to model different scenarios, and as new businesses move in, how will that affect the adjoining or adjacent street network in that vicinity. So this is some of the things that we're going to be able to get out of the plan, and so everybody's participation is very valuable in helping us have that input.
The first meeting will be February 11th at 6 in the Willis Nolan Conference Center on the second floor of the Seed Center located on Ryan Street in Lake Charles. On Thursday, February 13th, a second public meeting will be at the Spar Recreation and Aquatic Center on Parish Road in Sulphur. Calcasieu Parish is known for its water sports. Margaret Higgins traveled to several of our parish parks to check out a sport that has taken the parish by surprise.
Kayaking has become a popular sport in Calcasieu Parish and has caught the eye of the Parish Parks and Recreation Department. Park Superintendent Lacey Carter tells us what they are doing to accommodate kayakers.
We first looked at adding kayak launches due to the demand of kayaking in general. It has grown so big versus just as a recreational passive sport for families and friends to get out and enjoy. And then it's grown to where there's actually clubs. We've had several clubs call us anywhere from the Beaumont area all the way to Lafayette. They're wanting to come in and they want to know where the closest kayak launch is. So there's several clubs and organizations that have been put together, and that's what they're doing. That's their hobbies and their recreational time is kayaking. So we want to be able to make sure that we can cater to the recreational side, the passive recreational side of just family and friends and organization and groups getting out and kayaking and enjoying their time, and also more towards the active recreational side of kayaking. They've now started making kayaks where they're able to have all of your fishing gear and equipment on these kayaks. So as these builders and makers of these kayaks get more complex, we have to continue to change how we're going to incorporate kayaks in our parish and our parks to make sure that we meet all the needs and wants of the public that are using them.
Carter tells us where you can launch your kayak.
We have already actually had kayak launches at 210 Beach and Prian Lake Park. We're in the process of redoing Prian Lake Park for the Phase 2 of Henderson Bayou, and part of that phase in construction will be to redo the kayak launch. The two new kayak launches that we have are at Holbrook Park and White Oak Park.
If you'd like more information on the kayak launches, call Calcasieu Parish Facility Management, Parks and Recreation Division at 721-3540. For the Parish Line, I'm Margaret Higgins.
You can also check out the location of the parks and boat launches in your area by visiting our website at cppj.net. Click on Parks and Recreation. That's the Parish Line for this month. Thanks for watching. If you'd like more information about any of the stories on this month's program, visit cppj.net.